And good evening and welcome to the Redbank Chevrolet Main Street Sports Show on exploreClarion.com. And tonight we're coming to you live from Redbank Valley's football stadium tonight. It's a big night here, too. It is the Clarion County Band Night, and that'll be coming up at 7 o'clock tonight. We're going to bring you that live. But right now, I have Matt Dar. He's the athletic director here at Redbank Valley High School as we get set for our show this evening. And, Matt, first of all, welcome. And, well, you're special tonight because you don't have the governor of Cadiz to interview you. Should be pretty easy for you.
Well, I appreciate you guys being here for all the events you cover, especially with tonight with the Clarion County Band Night. I think it's in a 5-year rotation. We missed it. Our last time was during COVID, so we missed that rotation. So we haven't hosted in probably 8 or 9 years, and we're glad to be here tonight, and we're happy that you're here live streaming as well.
I'll tell you, it's one of the more popular events we do each year. It seems like folks really love it, and I know each week we always try to bring the bands, and this is their night to shine. And I'm sure the Redbank Bulldog Band is ready to go too.
Yeah, they're excited. We have a new band director this year, so she just graduated college, so a lot of new ideas. Trying to build the program up a little more, so we're excited to have her, and the band, they're doing great things this year.
Well, one thing, too, as the athletic director here at Redbank Valley, you went to school here, you've coached here, you've done a lot of different things. Boy, you got to be proud of the success that this school has had, and especially again this year. You know, you have your football team still that's clicking on all cylinders, ready for the playoffs, soccer, volleyball, all of those things have done extremely well.
Yeah, typically, if you talk to most schools, they'll go through that 2 or 3 year cycle where they might be on top, and then they'll lose some kids, and they try to build back up. We've been very fortunate here at Redbank Valley for about the last 5 years. It seems like we've probably won more district titles, honestly, in the last 5 years than we have in the entire history of the school district. And it's across all sports. It's not just in the fall. But like you said, again this year, very successful football team, 6-2. Big game this week, obviously, with the rival Clarion. Luckily, they're Double-A this year.
Exactly.
Clarion is probably one of the better Double-A teams in the entire state. But in Single-A, I think we can still make some noise. Volleyball program has had much success, too, over the last few years. And looks like, we'll probably, with the win last night over a very good DCC team, we got a chance of being the number 1 seed going into volleyball. And then our soccer programs probably are the two over the years maybe haven't been the most successful, but boy, the last couple years, they've really come on with the boys winning a district title last year. They're having a really good season this year. They're 12-4, so they'll be going into the playoffs after their final game tomorrow against Ridgeway. And then our girls team, 13-2-1. They're probably going to be the top seed in Double-A. So we're really excited. We got a great group of boys and girls playing. Our student athletes are just tremendous. And our coaching staff, you can't say enough about the time they put in as well. Plus our parents and, our school district. I always say there's those pillars that you have to have support from everyone, and it kind of has to all come together. And with our student athletes, with the administration, the coaches, and the parents, we've been very fortunate.
Well, and it's one thing, too, as a single-A school, to have the success that you have, and I know what that's like. A lot of the other teams, too, have had to join up in order to get numbers. You guys are still able to get those numbers for a lot of sports, but your population certainly isn't going up. And it's just a testament, I think, to the student body as they continue to come out and participate in all the sports that you have.
Yeah, I won't tell you what year I graduated. It was in the 90s, but I won't tell you when. But there's probably half the amount of kids here now than when I graduated. But we still have great numbers. Our football team is in the 40s this year. Volleyball's in the 20s. I always laugh. Junior high volleyball, we always get 40 girls out every year. So the numbers are good, which helps. And, years ago, I was just thinking about this on the way down. When I first started coaching volleyball, there were only 2 classes. So it was Double-A and Triple-A, and that was it for the entire state. We've moved to 4 classes in volleyball, and the PI Double-A just approved recently. They're actually going to go to 6 classes like we have in football and basketball and other sports. So that's really helped some of the smaller schools to be able to compete, once you get through districts on the state level, to compete and get to, make that deep run. And, look at our football team. Who would ever thought Redbank would make a state final in football? And we were there just a few years ago.
And I think that's important. A lot of people, they were upset, I think, when they went to the 6 classifications, but we have seen it locally. Look at Clarion baseball. Look at, you guys in football, and I think it has given some of the smaller guys another chance.
Yeah, across all sports, District 9. I mean, last year, Elk County won volleyball states in 2 sports. Clarion volleyball, obviously, they've won numerous state titles. Clarion played Du Bois Central in the state title game in baseball a couple years ago. So District 9 has been very well represented on the state level the past few years.
Yeah, it's one thing people always ask me because I teach over in District 10, and a lot of guys I work with coach and things like that, and they're like, how are the teams always that good? And are they really that good? And I said, they really are. I mean, when you look at Redbank, you look at Central Clarion, some of the Kern City's another one that always comes up. And I said, it's just, I said, I don't know if it's in the water or what it is, but I said, it's just an area that seems to bring up some pretty good teams in a multitude of sports.
Well, all these small towns, whether it's Clarion, whether it's Reimersburg, I mean, it's all about the high school. That's where everyone comes to, and everyone is very passionate. And if you come to a game here, there's no more passionate fans than Redbank fans. Sometimes there's that fine line between passionate and crossing over the line. But the support here has been tremendous across all sports.
One of the things, too, and we mentioned it, you as an athletic director have to deal with this, is the idea of officials. And we just talked about some games being moved because of that. But officiating and trying to get guys involved and stuff like that has to be a very difficult thing. And finding guys to cover all of the sports, too, can't be an easy task anymore either.
Yeah, it's definitely we're running into more and more trouble. We're moving games around. The officials are getting older. They're getting out of the game, and the younger generation just isn't coming in, unfortunately. So we try to do unique things. I know I have a junior high basketball girls game coming up. We're actually doing a doubleheader just so we can cover because we couldn't get officials for the one game. So we're trying to do everything we can. The new junior program the PIAA come out with, I think, is a great step to try to get more people into the industry. But like I said, it's not just in Redbank Valley. It's not just District 9. It's across the entire state, unfortunately.
Yeah, it sure is. And I know you lend your talent to the volleyball as far as like officiating too. So you're involved.
Well, I always say those who can't play start to coach. Those who can't coach end up officiating, and those who can't officiate anymore end up being, I guess, an athletic director. So that's where I'm at this point.
That's good. We do have that recorded, so we have to use that. All right, we're going to take our first time out. We're going to come back out, talk a little bit more about some of the KSAC things coming up that Matt's involved with. We'll have that for you. We have Matt Dar, the athletic director here at Redbank Valley, and we're going to take a time out. It's the Redbank Chevrolet Main Street Sports Show. It's right here on exploreClarion.com, and we're live tonight from Redbank Valley Football Stadium.
You can afford a gorgeous, custom-designed hardwood Kale's Kitchen for a lot less than you'd pay at a DIY store. Go to FactoryDirectKitchens.net. At Kale's, there are never middleman markups or hidden charges that can add 40%. Go to FactoryDirectKitchens.net. That's FactoryDirectKitchens.net.
At Clarion County Community Bank, you're more than just a number. With personalized service and modern conveniences, they make banking easy. Clarion County Community Bank, where community comes first.
Your eyes are the window to your soul, so take care of them. The Laurel Eye Clinic provides complete care from annual exams, glasses and contacts to cataract and retinal surgery, LASIK, and more. As a trusted leader in family eye care for 50 years, you can trust them with yours. Call or visit us online today.
The Cooper Discoverer Road Plus Trail AT, our most trusted truck tire, is now better than ever and available for your truck or SUV. They're designed for the reliability and durability to find adventure beyond the pavement and are backed by a Cooper mileage warranty of up to 65,000 miles. Learn more about the reliable Discoverer Road Plus Trail AT at CooperTire.com. Count on Cooper. Or stop by Carly Tires in Clarion. Carly Tires, the area's largest selection of tires. Need reliable plumbing or heating services? Call Luton's Plumbing and Heating. Fast, friendly, and available 24/7. Call them at 814-226-8695.
Hi, my name is Jason, and welcome to Sweet Basil. Come on in.
This game is brought to you by Tionesta Builders? No. Tionesta Builders Supply. Family-owned and operated home improvement centers located in Tionesta and Shippenville.
Dubrook is your trusted ready-mix concrete supplier. From commercial to residential, Dubrook has you covered. Call 1-844-DUBROOK or visit dubrooking.com. Dubrook is proud to support our local communities. Dubrook, your solid choice in all things concrete.
Affordable opportunities are endless at Northern Pennsylvania Regional College. If you're looking to start next semester or next year, apply now at discovernprc.org. discovernprc.org.
All right, welcome back to the Redbank Chevrolet Main Street Sports Show. Tonight we're at Redbank Valley's football stadium, and we're live on exploreClarion.com. Of course, tonight is the Clarion County Band Night here, and I understand that Matt's going to be playing the tuba in the Redbank Band tonight.
I actually played percussion in
Did
marching
you?
band in 7th and 8th
That's
grade.
cool.
Yes, so yes.
So I was making a joke, and you're like, no, I'm...
I had a drum set growing up, so everyone who lived on Vine Street, they were probably happy when my parents sold that because I was pretty wild with the loud music back in the day.
I know Dave Cadis loves your one drummer in the band because he's short and the drum's higher than he is. And he goes, I don't know how the kid sees where he's going, but he's incredible. He just thinks that's great. So, but I know a lot of these kids are that are getting involved. And so it should be a great night for all of us. We already got some people coming in, too, so they're getting excited.
Yeah, it's a great night. And once again, we're just happy to have you guys here live streaming this. And from what I'm hearing, these are very well attended. So we're excited. Looks like the rain's going to hold off.
Yeah.
It's a little chilly, but I think it's going to be a great night here.
Should be wonderful, too. And what I mentioned, too, coming up, you mentioned it in the last break, we'll be there Friday night. And I had a bunch of people getting a hold of me because I kept saying the game was here. And it's not. Redbank is at Central Clarion coming up on Friday, so that should be a good contest up there.
Yeah, big game, obviously big rivalry. We've played them the last couple years. We won the first year. They won last year. Probably two of the better quarterbacks that have come through District 9 in the last several years. So wouldn't be surprised if we see a 50 to 40 some game, or who knows what might happen.
And that's the thing. Bob Dunkel, he left. He just headed out west to do his moose or whatever, elk or some kind of deer hunting. And he always gets upset because years and years ago he left when we had that record game down here with Clarion and Redbank.
That was Jake Doherty as the quarterback for Redbank, yes.
And Dave and I had the call on it, and he was out west, and he said, I got on top of this mountain, and my phone was blowing up, and they're like, what's going on? He goes, I don't know. He says, I'm out west. And they said, there's records being set. And he said, I hate to leave because something big happens.
Yeah, I think we could match that on Friday. The weather's supposed to break, too. I think it's supposed to be in the 60s, so it's going to be a beautiful night. I think it's going to be a packed house. So hopefully we maybe see a couple records broke.
I hope so, too. Talking about some of the different things going on, too, this week, a lot of the seasons are starting to wrap up. Football season getting down there, volleyball, soccer, all that. This week, we do have the Keystone Shortway Athletic Conference volleyball championships. That's up at Tippin Gym. and maybe tell the folks a little bit about that, getting in, how much, and what's
Yeah,
going
so
on.
it starts tomorrow night, 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock. They're semifinals. The 6 o'clock game is Keystone versus Clarion, and then the 8 o'clock game is CL versus Redbank. And then on Thursday, the consolation game will be at 6, and then the championship game will be at 8 o'clock. $5 for adults to get in. All the proceeds for all of our KSAC championships go to our scholarship fund. That is one thing that we're pretty proud of. We got a really good group of athletic directors. Years ago, and I don't know how many years when they started the KSAC basketball championships. And since then, we've just added year in and year out. Starting this year, we'll actually have a KSAC championship in every sport that we sponsor. So cross country, and we've had that for a few years. Volleyball, we started a couple years ago. We started golf this year, so we had our first KSAC golf championship a couple weeks ago. And then obviously we'll have the basketball championships in February. And then for the first time ever this spring, we're going to have our track championships. It's here at Redbank this year. I think it's on May 1st. And then we're going to do a baseball and softball championship up in DuBois. We're going to use Heindel Field and Showers Field. We want to get the kids on the field. Hopefully that's where the district championships are played as well. So we're pretty excited. All the money raised goes to the scholarship fund. We used to give away one scholarship for every male and one for every female for every school in the KSAC. We've been fortunate to raise enough money through our KSAC championships that starting last year we started to give away four for every school, 2 for girls, 2 for boys. And then we also have a scholarship if anyone wants to be a junior official. So we just talked about that last segment. So there is a cost, obviously, to start with that. There's uniforms and some things you have to purchase. So we're actually going to take care of that for the junior official. So please, everyone, come out Wednesday and Thursday. Should be a great atmosphere. You'll actually get to see 2 different teams on those nights that have been ranked number 1 in the state this year. So at one time, Clarion's been ranked number 1, and one time CL's been ranked number 1 in the state. So pretty cool, not only to have 2 District 9 teams ranked first in the state, but 2 teams in the KSAC. So it should be exciting.
Oh, it should be crazy, too. And you got 2 teams that I know after we did the Clarion Limestone match last week, and those 2 teams, I'm sure, are just biting at the bit to get back at each other. But they got to go through Redbank, and you got to go through Keystone. And both of those teams are really playing well right now at this part of the season.
They are. And you do know CL's head coach and assistant coach, where they're alumni from, right?
Is it here?
Right here, Redbank Valley.
See?
Yeah. So I actually coached Becca. I coached for about 11 years. I took some time off when my children were born, and when I came back, Becca was coming up through. And then Ryan was a graduate here as well. So, but Ryan and Becca have done a really good job with the CL program, and obviously Sherry at Clarion. I mean, everyone wants to emulate that program. So Keystone, new coach this year. She's done a great job as well. And then here at Redbank, Ashley Anderson. I actually coached her when she played. And then she was my assistant. She's taken over a couple years ago and just done a great job.
We'll see you set the stage for all of this success.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you have to take credit for it. Yeah, exactly. And, too, how big is it, too, for these kids to get an opportunity like that to play up there on the big court in front of a nice big crowd, especially in the things like these KSAC championships?
Well, that's part of the reason why we're doing this. The amount of time and effort, it used to be in a sport – you'd play for 2 or 3 months, then you'd go to the next sport. Well, everything changed when travel ball started in AAU, but we're still small schools. We have to have kids playing 2, 3, sometimes even 4 sports. So these kids are playing the sport, 12 months out of the year. So we really want to recognize them for all their efforts. So we want to get them on the big stage. It's really unprecedented, the number of athletes that have been playing in college now just out of the KSAC. So we just want to give them a little bit of taste of that, and they'll get to experience that tomorrow and Thursday.
Yeah, that is something, and it's very special for the players, and I know the families, and it should be a real special week. And with the KSAC championships, of course, the big Redbank Central Clarion game on Friday night, and then the other playoffs starting too. So, it should just be a great week here coming up.
Yeah, it's a great time of year, and like I said earlier, the weather looks like it's going to break maybe Thursday, and all next week's supposed to have warm weather. So volleyball playoffs will start next week. Soccer playoffs will start as well, 2 weeks of those, and then get to November, and we'll start the PIAA playoffs, and hopefully a couple D9 teams can make some deep runs this year in states.
It's hard to believe, too. I know we talk about this all the time, but I don't know if you feel the same way. It just seemed like we started the season, and Bam, we're already talking about basketball, and that'll be coming up in another segment.
Yeah, I was just talking to some parents about that last night up at the volleyball game and talking about how, it seems like the season just started. School hasn't even started yet, and it seems like it was yesterday, and their kids were seniors, and they said, honestly, it just seems like they were freshmen, a couple weeks ago, and now they're seniors, and their last game's coming soon. So it goes quick.
Well, it does, and with you with your AD duties too, I'm sure it never changes for you because it always stays busy.
Yeah, last week was a pretty busy week here. We had 14 events, 14
my.
home events just here at Redbank, and we had 12 scheduled events just on this field alone. So luckily the weather held out last week. There's always that talk about turf or grass. A lot of the schools going to the turf. Kane got new turf last year, and then Brookville as well. So, I'm not sold on the turf as of yet. Obviously, it would be nice. Obviously, for maintenance wise, and you can play, no matter what the weather is. But obviously, there is an injury factor with that. We had a kid last year towards ACL in a playoff game up at Kane, and we had a junior high football player this year. Now, would that have happened on grass? It might have. So we'll see. We actually had someone come down and take a look at our field, but there's obviously a financial cost with that as well. So we'll see what happens in the future. But we're happy. Our field looks great, and can't wait to get these marching bands out there tonight on it.
Oh, it should be great too. And so there has been some talk about the turf down here.
Just a little bit.
Well, see, now we're really getting it going. And you know what? We got a lot of great people out there too that do like to help out the schools. I know. So maybe you'll have a contributor step up and say, "Hey, let's put some turf down there at Redbank Valley."
Yeah, and obviously we're just not a football school, right? We have soccer. We talked about before, and Karn City's been very unique, and they actually play softball on their athletic field.
Like
so it's being used not just in the fall; it's being used literally 8, 9, 10 months out of the year.
All right, well, we're going to take another time out. Great conversation right now with Matt Dar, the AD here at Redbank Valley High School, and we're going to take a time out. And you're watching the Redbank Chevrolet Main Street Sports Show here on exploreClarion.com.
You can afford a gorgeous, custom-designed hardwood Kales kitchen for a lot less than you'd pay at a DIY store. Go to FactoryDirectKitchens.net. At Kales, there are never middleman markups or hidden charges that can add 40%. Go to FactoryDirectKitchens.net. That's FactoryDirectKitchens.net.
At Clarion County Community Bank, you're more than just a number. With personalized service and modern conveniences, they make banking easy. Clarion County Community Bank, where community comes first.
Your eyes are the window to your soul, so take care of them. The Laurel Eye Clinic provides complete care from annual exams, glasses and contacts to cataract and retinal surgery, LASIK, and more. As a trusted leader in family eye care for 50 years, you can trust them with yours. Call or visit us online today.
The Cooper Discoverer Road Plus Trail AT, our most trusted truck tire, is now better than ever and available for your truck or SUV. They're designed for the reliability and durability to find adventure beyond the pavement and are backed by a Cooper mileage warranty of up to 65,000 miles. Learn more about the reliable Discoverer Road Plus Trail AT at CooperTire.com. Count on Cooper. Or stop by Carly Tires in Clarion. Carly Tires, the area's largest selection of tires. Need reliable plumbing or heating services? Call Luton's Plumbing and Heating. Fast, friendly, and available 24/7. Call them at 814-226-8695.
Hi, my name is Jason, and welcome to Sweet Basil. Come on in.
This game is brought to you by Tionesta Builders? No. Tionesta Builder Supply. Family-owned and operated home improvement centers located in Tionesta and Shippenville.
Dubrook is your trusted ready-mix concrete supplier. From commercial to residential, Dubrook has you covered. Call 1-844-DUBROOK or visit DuBrooking.com. DuBrook is proud to support our local communities. DuBrook, your solid choice in all things concrete.
Affordable opportunities are endless at Northern Pennsylvania Regional College. If you're looking to start next semester or next year, apply now at discovernprc.org. discovernprc.org.
We live streamed, but we don't have any audio for that. Yeah.
All right, back here at the Redbank Valley Football Stadium. It is the Redbank Chevrolet Main Street Sports Show. Tonight, we're right here in the great Redbank Valley, the land that the governor built and all that great stuff. And you're laughing, but, well, he built a few things around here.
He is semi-famous, I think.
Well, I think so. Boy, he came back, and you would think he was gone for 10 years. People are like, governor. I'm like, oh, he was gone for like 8 months. But as we continue here tonight, beautiful backdrop. We're getting ready for the Clarion County Band Night. 4 bands will be performing along with the Teal College Marching Band as well. Should be a great night for that. If you love music, and I certainly do, and they're starting to play the music that I grew up on, that 80s rock and stuff like that, so it's all right.
So it's funny you say that. Next week is our 9th grade trip to D.C., so I'm gonna be chaperoning it. But I'm coming back early to bring some of the football players, and a girl that's singing the national anthem is coming back, and she said, you know, Matt, I'm going to be singing the entire way back from D.C. And I said, that's fine, but the playlist is going to be Def Leppard and Motley Crue and bands like that. So we'll see how it goes.
And actually, that's good. I mean, but you got to train these kids well, too. They need to hear all of that stuff. That's what I tell my students at school. I said, if you know this music, you know a lot.
Absolutely.
So, but we're going to turn our attention. We were just talking about the KSAC championships. Those going on. Now, you have one for pretty much every sport in the Keystone Shortway Conference, but something really cool this winter, and I think folks are really going to enjoy this, the basketball showcase, and you've been working hard on this. I know things are still coming together for it. This will be this winter, and it's going to happen at Tippin Gym, and you're going to have several games on a Saturday each month?
Yeah, so we're going to try to pull this off. We'll see how it goes. So back when I coached volleyball, that was when we had the power rating formula to determine the seeds. And I always thought, boy, it'd be nice if the KSAC would play the AML. Like every team from the KSAC would go up and play one of their teams just to kind of see where you're at. Because a lot of times in the regular season, you don't play each other. And then once I got to be AD, I thought, well, why don't we do that for basketball? It would not only help with the seeding, but teams would get to play on that floor, before the playoffs start. So what I did was I sent it out to all the schools to see what kind of response we would get, and we ended up getting a great response. So we're actually going to have 6 games on 3 different Saturdays, so 18 total games. How it's set up, you're playing a team that's not in your league, and you're playing a team also that's not in your same class. So that way teams didn't have to worry about maybe playing, and then 2 weeks later they have to play them again in the district playoffs. So it's a Saturday in December, a Saturday in January, and then a Saturday in February. And then I thought, well, what are we going to do with the proceeds? First of all, is it going to make money? We can't lose money on it, but if we do make money, what are we going to do with it? So my daughter was diagnosed with diabetes a couple years ago. So completely out of the blue, I really didn't know much about it. So for an entire year, she had to get 7 shots every day. Yep. She's an athlete as well. And Scott Kendall, the AD at Union, his daughter also has diabetes, and she's an athlete as well. So I called Scott up and I said, hey, listen, what do you think about this? All the money raised, let's set up a scholarship for any District 9 athletes that have diabetes.
That's
so
wonderful.
hopefully we can raise some money. So it's kind of twofold. We're going to get those kids on the big floor. We're going to get in, hopefully in front of great crowds, and also hopefully we can raise some money for juvenile diabetes.
That's wonderful, too, because my daughter was diagnosed when she was 15 years old, and I know right now
So
she'll
you
be watching
know.
this.
Yeah.
So you've been through it, and what a great cause. And people don't realize the number of kids out there and it's one of those surprises, too, because you don't see this one coming. It just happens.
Yeah, I mean, we talked a little bit before about, all the effort that's put in and the time. Just think of the amount of hours you put into practice in the games. Well, then on top of that, someone who has diabetes, you're looking at your sugar, you're high, you're low. You got to come out and sit out. You have to schedule. You have to eat at a certain time. So the dynamic is just 2, 3, 4-fold. So hopefully it's a great event, and hopefully we can continue it year after year.
Well, I think you're going to have good crowds. And now, as far as the games go, these would count as regular season games for these teams?
They are, yes. So they will count as a competition point, so regular season games. And we tried to match everyone up with, we have our marquee games later on. I think we have Elk County boys. They're playing Karn City. We felt Karn City was going to have a good team this year in boys, and Elk, obviously, Aaron Straub always is one of the top teams in the state. So whether you're one of the better teams in District 9 or maybe you're just going to be mediocre, all the games should be fairly close contested, unlike some of these football scores we're seeing this year. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, it can't always be exact, but hopefully I think we have 18 great games scheduled.
What time were you planning on starting the games on the Saturdays?
So we're going to start at 12 and every hour and a half, and it'll go straight through, and the last game will be at 8 o'clock.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yep. That's something to look forward to. So that'll be coming up. And did you give us the dates?
So we're going with it's December 21st, January 25th, and February 1st.
Okay. So the February 2 would be right before the playoffs.
Yeah.
So give teams warm-ups, too, down on the court.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that'd be wonderful. Question for you. We were just talking about this, and you mentioned about Elk County and Karn City and all that. The PIAA, I know, has advanced some a talk, at least, to separate the public and private schools when it comes to the state playoffs and the championships. Would you have any thoughts on that?
Well, coming from a public school, you always hear there should be 2 separate divisions. I just don't know how it would work, especially when you're looking at District 9. DCC and ECC are the only 2 schools that would fall under the private side. So I don't know how that would work. And there's been several different proposals out there, whether you have a public school, a private school state championship, or you put them on different sides of the bracket and then the 2 winners play each other. I'm for whatever gets the best teams into the state tournament. I'm also into whatever's fair for everyone. Unfortunately with a private school, there's that debate that they can recruit more than a public school, so should they move up a class? I don't necessarily think that's always the case, but in some cases, there's definitely some schools that you see, in the top 10 in the state year after year. So I think the debate has been going on for 20, 30 years. I did see that new proposal, and I think it passed 23-1.
Yeah.
So I think it's getting a little more traction. I would like to see something done a little different. I just don't know what, the finality, what it should look like.
And I think, too, it might be neat maybe down the road you have your public champion, maybe a private champion, and then have them face off.
Yeah.
I know some states will do that, too. But who knows? I mean, I think you're going to see a lot of revisions and things like that as it goes on.
Yeah. I mean, if you ever seen two private schools at a state championship, it's not real well attended usually, unfortunately. Because the kids are coming from so many different directions. You just don't have that community atmosphere that public schools do. So, I think something will be coming soon. I just don't know what it's going to look like exactly.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. We had a great conversation tonight, and I want to thank you, Matt, for coming up. And got the big band festival going on. We've got a lot of stuff going on. Your job's not done. I know you've got a lot of things that you'll be taking care of over the next few weeks, and then it'll flip to winter sports and then spring sports. And, and AD's job is really never done. But boy, we thank you for taking some time out of your busy schedule. And I think you gave us a lot of great information. I think folks should be excited about several things you talked about.
Yeah, I appreciate, once again, you guys being down here for the band night, and you're going to be out at the KSAC Championships Wednesday and Thursday, and we'll see you in the playoffs. So I appreciate everything that you guys do for the KSAC and District 9.
Well, and we thank you, too, for always welcoming us here at Redbank Valley. It's always great to come down here. So that'll wrap things up for us tonight here on the Redbank Chevrolet Main Street Sports Show. We had Matt Dar tonight. Fantastic conversation. As I said, I want to thank Matt for coming up, and that'll wrap things up here from Redbank Valley's football stadium this evening. Don't forget, too, got the Clarion County Band Night coming up. We'll have that for you coming up this evening as well. And so that'll do it. Have a great night, and we'll see you again next week.
You can afford a gorgeous, custom-designed hardwood Kales kitchen for a lot less than you'd pay at a DIY store. Go to FactoryDirectKitchens.net. At Kales, there are never middleman markups or hidden charges that can add 40%. Go to FactoryDirectKitchens.net. That's FactoryDirectKitchens.net.
At Clarion County Community Bank, you're more than just a number. With personalized service and modern conveniences, they make banking easy. Clarion County Community Bank, where community comes first.